When the armored might of the Astra Militarum rolls to war, striding beside them are the Scout Sentinels and the Armored Sentinels. Today, we're going to talk about these units on Let's Talk Tactics.
Anvil of War! Let's talk tactics!
Hey guys, and welcome back to Anvil of War Gaming. Today we are talking about the Scout Sentinels and the Armored Sentinels on Let's Talk Tactics. Before we get into the video, just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying our content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Lets us know that you are enjoying it, and we'll keep making more videos, especially some Astra Militarum stuff. So, without further ado, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Scout Sentinels, Armored Sentinels, really a matter of preference which one you like to take. Haven't seen many people run both in a list, and there's probably a good reason for that. They're more of a harassing support unit, and you're not going to see these guys flooding the tabletops. I haven't seen anybody really run 9 of them in a list. I just don't see why you would, but at the same time, I mean, if you have and you've had success with it, let me know. Today I'm going to talk about some stratagems I prefer to use with these units. We'll talk a little bit about the weapons options I prefer. And yeah, just how I get the most out of them on the tabletop. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to talk about their statistics. These guys have pretty much the same statistics. The Armored Sentinels have 8-inch move. Scouts have a 9-inch move. They both have weapon skill, ballistic skill 4+. Both have a strength of 5. The Armored has a toughness 6, whereas the Scout has a toughness of 5. They have 6 wounds apiece, 1 attack apiece, leadership 7. The Armored Sentinel comes with a 3+ save, and the Scout Sentinel comes with a 4+ save. So obviously you can see a little bit of a difference here in the stat line where it comes to which one's more durable. Obviously the Armored Sentinel is going to be the more durable of the two options. They come in at the same points cost currently, pending any FAQs or changes with upcoming codexes. Hope to see that in the near future. These can be taken in a squad of 1 to 3 models. They come stock with the multi-laser. Now, the multi-laser is just a cheap option. If you want to keep that on there, great. If you're just planning on using these guys as to grab a late game objective or run around and kind of harass the enemy, anti-infantry multi-laser might be the right option for you. That being said, there are better options in my opinion. This thing can also take... it can swap actually its multi-laser out for a heavy flamer, an autocannon if you want to do a little bit more punch, and missile launcher or a las cannon. Now obviously las cannon is going to be your anti-vehicle option. Heavy flamer is kind of a weird option. It depends if you're trying to synergize it with maybe your doctrines or your what am I trying to say here, your regiment. So it really depends on if you're trying to maximize the amount of units benefiting from your regiment. I don't see these guys really slotting in there. I don't see them necessarily being taken for that reason, but we'll get more into that later. They can also take the Sentinel chainsaw. It's cheap, but I still don't see it being worth the points. I mean, it's not really a great melee option for them. You want these guys running around shooting. You don't really want them locked in combat unless it's to tie up something really weak at them and then be able to kind of just stay there at a stalemate. Other than that, don't really see a reason. You can pass over that most likely. Hunter Killer Missile. Now, this is a great option. It is also cheap. And for a toss away one shot use weapon, it's strength 10, AP -2, D6 damage. It's only one shot per game, per missile. But, I mean, if you're taking a squad of 3 of these and throwing on las cannons, like I do, then taking a Hunter Killer Missile on them is definitely a good investment because those extra shots, especially when you're factoring in some stratagems later on, you're going to get some real good synergy with them. As far as special rules are concerned, they aren't a squadron. They do act as a unit. They have to remain in coherency, so it's important to remember that. The Scouts do have the Scout Vehicle special rule. Essentially what this does is in the first battle round, before each player starts their turn, they can make a Scout move 9 inches. They can't move within 9 inches of an enemy unit, but it is kind of a nice little flexibility special rule, and it might make you lean towards taking the Scouts over the Armored. Sacrifice some durability for the ability to deploy these guys out of line of sight if you have some heavy line of sight blocking terrain, or something that in the new rules with the new terrain rules in 9th edition, you have some ability to possibly have something that's like fully obscuring. And if you can do that, do it. I mean, deploy them outside, move them 9 inches. If you get the first turn, if you're not getting the first turn, I mean, you're still kind of stuck there. And at the same time, I mean, they do have a movement of 9 inches for the scouts. So the ability to just jump them out and get them into position for the perfect shot isn't that hard. So yeah, it's a cool special rule. Obviously, the Armored Sentinels don't have that. They don't have any other special rules, deviations. They just are tougher. You're going to get that extra toughness, and you're going to get that extra 1-year save. So it's a good trade-off. As far as we'll get into stratagems next, because I think really where these things are going to come into play is the use of stratagems. With Psychic Awakening, we did get some new strats for them, specific for them. The Scout Sentinels already had their own, but now the Armored Sentinels have their own specific one, and then they both got a great stratagem. So let's get into those. First of all, got to do an honorable mention to Vengeance for Cadia. I mean, there's probably going to be a better unit to be throwing this on. But Vengeance for Cadia, 1 command point for reroll all hits and wounds against something with the Chaos keyword. Fantastic stratagem. I hope we don't lose this in the 9th edition Astra Militarum Codex. It's just a great thing to throw in. I mean, for Cadia. Next up, we have the Go Recon special rule, or the Go Recon stratagem. It's 1 command point also. It's only for Scout Sentinels, but essentially what it allows you to do is forego your shooting and the ability to charge. You do it activate during your shooting phase. And it allows them to move an additional 2d6 inches. So it's kind of like advancing, but 2d6 could grab a late game objective, especially if you only have like maybe 1 left on the table. It could be the difference between you scoring that last victory point or not. So definitely worth having in your back pocket for late game. From there, we go into the Psychic Awakening stratagems, because I'm not going to talk about jury rigging and all those things. There's more important, more cost-efficient ways of using these stratagems on bigger, better things. But Death Maneuvering came with Psychic Awakening. Now, this is 1 command point. It's for the Armored Sentinels. It halves incoming damage in the shooting phase, rounding up, for your Armored Sentinels. This is great if you want to keep them on the table for an extra turn. Remember, they don't have degrading stats, so even if they're still chugging on 1 wound, it's totally worth it. And this can save them and potentially give you that extra model. And then there's the best one, in my opinion: Strike First, Strike Hard. Activating the shooting phase, it's going to give you +2 to your hit rolls in shooting. Now, you're only really getting +1 max to any hit and wound rolls, but what this is going to do is it's going to negate a -1 from a hard to hit target. So if you're shooting at a flyer or something, this can be really, really good. Elder Flyers, you're going to make them stack stratagems and burn through some CPs, especially if you guys are rocking las cannons and Hunter Killers on these things, because the Hunter Killers, just having that strength 10 threat at, hitting on 3+ against a plane or something, that can be pretty scary for your opponent. And then you got las cannons to boot. So it's a great option, and it's a great stratagem. I hope we don't lose this as well. I'd like to see that some Psychic Awakening stratagems are getting phased over into the codexes, and I hope this one sticks around as well. Now, going from there, as far as complementing regiments to take with these guys, I mean, the Vostroyan, or the, the spotter details, if you're making your custom regiment, giving them an additional 6 inches onto their heavy weapons. I mean, all the weapons that these guys are going to take predominantly are going to be heavy weapons, so an extra 6 inches. So an extra 6 inches is, it's an extra 6 inches, right? Am I right? Anyways, going from there, you have the Catachan. Now, if you're rocking missiles or heavy flamers, sorry, if you're taking gunnery experts also, I guess, if you're making custom regimen. The heavy flamers and the missile launchers are going to give you the reroll for your number of shots. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't see really why you would take heavy flamers on these guys personally, unless you're doing super thematic Catachin army or something. If I'm wrong here, guys, don't hesitate to mention why you think they should have heavy flamers. Missile launchers. I mean, missile launchers would probably be my second choice to taking las cannons, just for the flexibility of being able to do damage to infantry or something big, and paired off with a hunter killer could be a good combo. I just think the las cannon is just a little bit more reliable, point sufficient. I don't know. It's I think it's really just a toss up between the two. So let me know again in the comments below what you guys think of that. Moving on from there, I mean, Pyromaniacs, again, if you're going the heavy flamer route, you might want to take that. Again, I don't know why you're not going to gear your entire army around Sentinels. These Sentinels are a toss-in unit. I actually personally run the spotter details to get the extra shots when I'm making a custom regiment. And that doesn't apply to these guys, but I still run them with the las cannon and the hunter killers, just because they are a harassing enemy that's supposed to be on the table, or they're supposed to be on the table harassing the enemy and shooting at something big that's going to threaten my big stuff. Try to neutralize that early game with the range that you're going to have from the las cannons and the hunter killers. So just something worth thinking about. And then the only other mention I probably would have was the monster hunters. Now, this is the unmodified 6s to wound is going to do a mortal wound. Now, this could, again, it's the low volume of shots that you're chugging out with these guys. I don't really see that being a smart, like, again, you're not tailoring your army. It could benefit them, though. And you could get a couple extra mortal wounds out of that. That's pretty strong. So as far as regiment specific stratagems, I mean, there's nothing really that catches my eye. Maybe overlapping fields of fire for Cadia, maybe the Firstborn Pride for the ability to, no, never mind, you're never going to do that. +1 to hit versus +2 to hit for 1 command point, it's never going to be an option. So again, I don't really see them benefiting too much from this. These are a light, fast, harassing unit that you're going to throw in your army just to cause your opponent a nuisance, or maybe do what I do, have them kitted out to kill something big turn 1, turn 2, and then anything else is kind of gravy if they don't get blown off the table. They are prone to getting shot off the table. They are kind of a favorite target from your opponents for the ability to get some command point or get some victory points, etc. 9th edition has changed that a little bit just with the way the scoring works, so that's a good thing. But big reminder, they are vehicle units, so they are no longer suffering from the -1 to move and shoot. Again, that makes the +2 to hit stratagems so much better, because you are, again, negating that -1 from flyers and stuff and still pushing you up to 3+ hitting. So, and that's really it. My favorite way to run them is just as that harassing unit. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have another way of running them, let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more Astra Militarum content. Bye.
Sponsored by
Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, look at the Anvil of War icon right about here, and click it. Thanks, guys. But if you're just, it's something to have if you want to use it instead of the +2. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's go back.